also common, Urgot's also common, but it's just kind of like, how do you properly adjust? And Curse's ban's last game was Vlad, Urgot, Soraka, and I'm not sure. Remember, they're on second pick here. They're on purple side, so it's just kind of like, what do you give up? Do you just, let them have whatever the hell they want? And it's just really just, the unfortunate part. If you're in first pick position game one and you lose, it's just like, oh man, not only do we have to be, change up our bans completely, but we're giving them first pick if they want it.
Yeah, I mean, they do ban out the Karthus. We'll have to see. It's definitely going to be an uphill battle, but I think Curse, their team comp last time, it wasn't that it was bad necessarily. It was a fine team comp. It definitely could have worked. I think, if anything, the struggle was Graves. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of wondering. I need to look back and see, the games where Graves just dominates. Because Graves has always been just kind of an all-around strong bot lane. He can kind of work in almost any situation. He's safe in the lane. He has, plenty of AoE and stuff like that. But it seems, I mean, against champions like Ezreal, who have that long-range poke and, quick bursters, he can kind of fall behind early. And he was kind of inconsequential that last game. We'll have to see. I mean, he's just an all-around strong champion, but I don't know. I would probably like to see someone with a little bit, I don't know, more upfront damage like Corki, or someone with more utility like Ashe. I don't know. I think Curse just really needs to change up their lineup this game.
Yep. Vlad and Soraka are actually open right now.
Yep.
There it is. There's the Soraka. Straight on pick one for Evo. So, and Soraka works so well, in a lot of lanes. Ezreal comes to mind. Once again, could very well happen. Just keep on infusing him with mana so you can just go ahead and spam the abilities. May very well see that again.
Yeah, I mean, there is an option there. A lot of it's going to depend on what Curse is playing. Because I don't think Aphromoo goes into every game and he's like, oh, I'm going to play Ezreal every single game. But
this isn't solo queue.
We'll see.
This isn't solo queue, Jack's top right
now,
feed style here.
I would probably expect to see a Nocturne and then a Taric. And they have a couple of options, but Nocturne is definitely a really strong jungler. Now with the Nautilus band, Nocturne definitely makes sense as this first pick. And just try and work at it again. And then, I don't know, for support, they could hold off on the support. They could pick their AD if they, really want to stick with that Graves. They could definitely do that. But Nocturne, Maokai actually being picked, so that's interesting. So the thing with Maokai is he's a little bit more aggressive ganking, he's a little bit more aggressive early on, but Nocturne, just has the jungling speed and has everything going for him. But we'll see. The nice thing with Maokai is he can really combo well with a lot of mid and top lanes to pick up early kills that Nocturne just can't do.
And Kennen also a pretty good ambiguous pick. Not quite sure where he's going.Uld be going top. Could be going mid. Could be going bot. It's happened.
It's a Ninja Yordle.
It is.
I mean,
pretty
that's
sneaky.
Wes Rice's specialty. So we'll
Wes
see
Rice
if he goes
special.
Top or not. Yeah.
But there you go. There's Vlad and the Ezreal. So there will be the Pulse Fire once again down bot lane. This time with the Soraka for that sustain, for extra mana. And so now Curse realizes with Swain. Now, I think this may be a Swain top. Because there's been a little bit of a rumbling with some of the pros that I've talked to that Swain top is very underused.
Yeah, I mean, here's the issue though. It really, a lot of it's going to depend on where Vladimir goes. So Swain works as a counterpick to Vladimir, which is why they kind of picked the Swain. Swain, it's a double AP comp. There is the sustain later on. Top lane, you have to worry about getting blue, and top lane you're almost never going to get blue as Swain, so that kind of sucks. But Vladimir versus Swain, Swain just crushes Vladimir. So as a result, we'll see, but they're actually probably going to be forced to send Vladimir mid and send someone else top, just because the dot from Swain can just be so effective against Vlad early.
And then again, if it goes double AP for both sides, Swain can just go ahead, buy stuff like a Chalice to try and get back some of that mana lost. To try and act as a pseudo blue buff if he is indeed thrown into top, but still not quite sure yet. And there's still a support that needs to be picked for Curse as well. So just waiting for the rest of the picks to see what would fit best in the team. Still need a.
That's actually what's the surprise is going to be. Their last pick isn't going to be
support.
Fiddlesticks. It's going to be their top lane.
It's going to be Fiddlesticks support.
Swain, well, I was going to say Swain or something is going to be support, but yeah, we'll have to see. It's kind of unusual to not pick your support, and to leave that 5th pick counter pick and then not use it for anything is kind of weird. Like, they could have held off on the Swain pick and picked something later and forced Vladimir into that top lane. He is going to go top anyway. So
there you go.
Vladimir, as long as he plays safe, as he gets more and more regen, he will be okay. It's just the harass from Swain can be pretty effective. We'll see, though. It's, a heavy Magic team for both teams, and I don't know, both ADs are very safe, so it's really just a lot of all-around damage. Advantage Amumu, maybe. I mean, Maokai has the early gank presence, but Amumu for team fights could be really devastating.
Yeah, I mean the ult from Maokai, so, it does really shine trying to mitigate a lot of AOE damage, but there's not really too much. Well, there's a fair amount of it from Evo, but it also doesn't really do too well if everyone's done. I was joking. Are we actually going to see it? Oh, I hope we actually see the Fiddlestick support. That'd be hilarious. That'd be great. Because I would love to have it on the stream. Come on, no.
Hilariously
He's tempting
bad.
me. He's tempting me.
I mean, Fiddlestick support, you can go Fiddlestick support, but
Yeah.
you don't go Fiddlestick support against Soraka and Ezreal. So the issue is
Yes, it's
Soraka and
silence.
Ezreal, they're going to be so aggressive with harass that they're going to just eat through Fiddlesticks. And Fiddlesticks can work against more aggressive lanes that don't have sustain. You don't want to go against a sustain lane. And then you use your durations on your both fear and silence to take advantages in harass, but otherwise it's not going to work against an Ezreal Soraka. So Taric makes sense.
Yeah,
Corki and Taric
Corki
is a really nice combo.
Yeah, that's all the armor shred you need. But against Amumu does get pretty tanky. Rise gets really tanky. Armor buff on Soraka heal that can make anyone tanky. So it'll be doing a good job to mitigate a lot of that, but not going to be as effective as it normally would. But it's still going to be a pretty huge boon to Curse if they can if they can head into the mid game here. His last game was a little bit of a disastrous situation, but hey, that's why there's a game too.
I mean, Curse, they have a really nice AoE team. They have a lot of burst potential. Corki is just such a devastating monster, the Yordle of death. And I don't know, to combo Corki with any sort of AoE champion, with a Morgana or with a Kennen in this case, definitely works out. It's a really nice matchup. We'll have to see how that works. And Nijaki is actually going to be going mid. So it is a Kennen. And actually, is that going to be an AD Kennen then? Because AD Kennen crushes Vladimir early on. You can just harass him very effectively.
You get the friggin'
Yes,
banner too.
It is AD Kennen.
Go
Yes,
back
you get a banner for
I didn't
Pulsar
know you
Ezreal.
got the banner too.
Yeah, you do.
Oh my god. What's
Yeah,
okay.
it's pretty cool. 2744. Dear God, West Rice. But AD Kennen. So the thing with AD Kennen versus Vladimir, AP Kennen early on, you're not going to be able to get any damage against Vladimir. You're not going to be able to harass him down. He's just going to sit there and regen farm, and then later on, he's going to have enough damage to push you out of lane. AD Kennen, it's very similar to AD Nidalee. They both do very well against Vladimir. You just constantly attack, wear him down. Any sort of AD champion in the top lane does very well against Vladimir. If Westrice can force Wings of Death to buy any defensive items, that's basically a minor victory, because you're pushing back Vladimir's late game. And Vladimir, he's always going to farm. He's always going to get the late game. It doesn't matter who you're going against, really. He's safe enough generally. You're not going to get kills, but the goal is to force him to buy armor items. And if you can force him to buy a chain vest or force him to buy like a Doran's shield,
Spirit Visage.
then I mean, but Spirit Visage is that's more of a different build than a defensive item. It does work as a defensive item, but Spirit Visage is part of the cooldown reduction, Vlad, which is a pretty common build way to build them. So we'll see. That would be a nice thing for Westrice. So AD Kennen, definitely a nice pick there. And now Nijaki does get the blue. So it's an interesting matchup. Nijaki versus Salse. Nijaki, he has a little. You have the sustain with Swain, but I'm kind of curious how this match is going to go, because once Salse has enough mana, just that constant burst damage from Rise and that long just Q W Q Q E Q. I don't know. It could really take its toll on Swain. He could Rise, because Swain has to get into melee range. That's going to be putting him right in that situation where Rise could pick up kills there.
But then you do have the Maokai.
Yeah.
Hopefully going to be having a big presence. Preferably mid, and hopefully go ahead and get the Twisted Advance off before the Prism actually goes. So you can go ahead and you can get your root, keep Rise in place, and I don't know. I don't think it is possible. Well, dude, if Swain does get the root first, may actually see, Curse trying to go for the invade here, because just try keep Amumu busy at blue, take it away from him could give him a huge advantage.
Yeah,
like steal the blue and give it to Night Jackie. That'd be hilarious. That'd be
Curse's
great.
level 1 is a lot stronger than TSM Evo's. The only difference is that TSM Evo has Aphromoo on Ezreal, and Ezreal is really devastating level 1. But having the Taric stun, having the poke from Westrice, having multiple snares potentially, and then also Corki, the Phosphorus Bomb level 1, it is a really strong level 1 team. Both Maokai and Amumu want to sit back and take their blue, so they might just decide to be defensive and allow Maokai to get his own blue. But there is, every possibility that they want to set Amumu behind and just give Maokai an early advantage in this game. The only issue is if it's not successful, then all of a sudden, instead of getting level 2, level 3, early ganks from Maokai, he's going to have to sit in the jungle and be worthless. So that's kind of the risk that you're going to take. And I don't know if they're going to want to take that risk this early because they want to win these lanes.
Right.
Kennen wants to beat Vladimir top. In order to do that, he needs a jungle presence. Bot lane, they have an aggressive kill lane against a sustain lane. They want to be able to win that lane. In order to do that, they need a jungle presence. So we'll see. It'll probably mean that they're going to sit back, play defensive early on.
Pings immediately going down for entrances to top jungle for Curse. And I think Evo, they were pinging all over for many different entrances. They may actually try and just get a regular standard point defense here. Gonna see what they do. But everyone from both teams are just looking to scatter presence in the mid.
Just remembered, guys, while you're checking out this match, we're really excited. The finals, it's going to be really big. But check out IPL Live View. I'm sure Colin's posted in chat a number of times. We have a camera crew out by the Curse office taking some footage of them. So definitely check that out. Twitch.tv/IPL Live View. We have the Curse team. They're sitting there playing the games in the office. So you guys can check that out and see their reactions as they play the game.
Cut it out, Cop. Cop, cut it out.
You could just go to another part of the screen.
I could also go to this.
Yeah, so there you go.
There you go.
So yeah,
Silly.
both junglers just very comfortable with sitting back. And Curse, they probably could have won in early invade. The issue is even if they win in early invade and St. Vicious gets set behind at all, that could be devastating for their team. So they'll be fine. And there is actually some nice early ward coverage for top lane.
Look at that.
Yeah, they recognize that Maokai wants to be incredibly aggressive with kills. And Kennen is actually a really strong lane to gank. If you have the Maokai Twisted Advance, Kennen's easily going to be able to get the follow-up stun. And then Kennen would have enough damage to take down Vladimir and really get an early advantage and then be able to shut him out of this game. So they don't want to allow that to happen. So not just the river ward, but also the up lane bush gank ward. So a really nice job there. Vladimir will be safe for quite some time.
But both junglers looking to start out right. Wolves followed by blue. Should be pretty standard for both, but it's just a matter of both these junglers very early on. They need that blue in order to go ahead and be successful and quick in their routes. And hopefully the ganks will be moderately successful for one of them at the very least. But for now, looking to farm up, and Maokai's just gonna have a little bit extra help taking down that buff. So St. Vish is gonna have a little. He's gonna be out of the gate just a little bit faster than Unstoppable is. But we'll see if that translates into anything. Bot lane, Aphromoo was a pretty huge superstar. So we'll see if he can do the same down here. Top lane, you got that AD Kennen. Westray's going to see how much damage can possibly be piled onto Wings of Death. And then in the mid, Salse Rise versus the Night Jackie Swain. And it looks like Night Jackie's actually pushing, he's actually doing a pretty good job pushing. He actually forced Salse to tower pretty early.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of an option. If you push Rise into the towers early, you can take some early advantages. Amumu doing a nice job actually transitioning from the race to the Wolves. He wants to get up. That'll get him to level 3, and then he can come gank top. But here's actually the ward coverage. Really nice job there. They see St. Vicious, but did he see him?
He saw him.
Okay,
he saw him.
For a second, I guess he was just trying to bait it out because it looked like he was really far up for a second. Yeah. And I was like, Wings of Death. Back off for a second. But Salse, will be kind of trying to pressure him, and so Wings actually getting some free damage while he's waiting.
When it's a dangerous game that Wings is playing, like he realizes that if he kind of is there, looking tempting, looking tasty, the more time he can force the Vicious to waste. Oh, Aphromoo getting hugely chunked out there. Stun, shatter, trying to get some damage. He does get away from that in a little bit, and the heal and the armor from the actually going to go ahead, top him off, keep him healthy. But no, Wings knows the more time he can force St. Vicious to waste. That's time he's not in the jungle. That's time he's not farming. That's time that Amumu can use to go ahead and catch up. And Unstoppable does already have that 4. St. Vicious is still 3 for the time being.
And Wings has allowed the lane to push into him really quickly, so he's perfectly safe farming at his tower.
The wards are
Oh,
down,
wow.
but otherwise
Nice.
he's in a good situation there. And actually, did they just
They
kill a
took
ward?
they took it. They took it
Wow.
out. They're fast enough, and very rare instances. If you have two champs right at the area where a ward is placed, you both instantly attack it, and if you're fast enough, you can get that third attack and take it out right there. So just good positioning from Aftermoon, yeah, to go ahead and take that out. Nice 75 gold wasted.
Yeah. I mean, it is, I don't know, just a nice thing. You have to be aware of it, but
Vicious.
Maokai coming in on
Oh.
Salse, he gets the flash, but actually Nijaki can't get the follow-up, and St. Vicious taking a lot of damage from both that tower and that root, so he will back off.
That's dangerous, with that flash, twisted advance. The animation, if you're still in it, will follow you wherever you go, including after a flash if you still got vision. So a little bit dangerous taking in tower hits, but we'll make it out and back to the jungle safely. But now I think it may actually be a Mumu's turn to try his luck, going around. Oh, actually going to go for the Wraith steal here.
Yeah, and the Mumu Mumu and Maokai, they're pretty comparable as far as jungling speeds, but Mumu actually has a slight advantage. So, he can steal the race a little bit more easily than Maokai can, so doing some nice counter jungling there. He will be safe to protect Ryze in that mid lane, actually coming mid himself, but can't really get any aggression there. So, Wings of Death, again, just doing a fantastic job in that mid lane. Outfarming Kennen actually
top
currently,
lane.
but Kennen, that top lane. But Kennen should be fine. Kennen will catch up in that CS and actually pass him here with that large wave at the tower.
Yep, and then still got one tome purchased, looking for the other, gonna try and finish that revolver in the near future. Still a whiles away, so about like 500 gold away from finishing that. And then check to see how much gold everyone else has gotten. Ryze could very well buy the tier. And next time he goes back here, we can see what he picks up, which is go ahead and try and stack up that mana. Nijaki also doing pretty okay for himself as well. He's got the 1k. Maokai, St. Vicious almost has enough to go ahead. Well, actually, now he's got enough to go ahead and get that Philo, but when he backed, he just didn't quite have it. And Mumu's got the regrowth, also working for the very similar build. GP10's on his support, a utility / tank jungler. Not all too uncommon.
Yeah, we'll see if he comes mid, though, because he does have some nice positioning. Actually,
Flash
the
is
flash
down.
from Nijaki to get the slow, and they are tanking this turret, the snare, and then the follow-up from Nijaki. They get the
Nice.
first blood.
But will it get
Unfortunately,
out?
Nijaki will go
No.
down, so Unstoppable able to pick it up. It is an even exchange, but here's the benefit. Nijaki, well, not only the first blood.
Whoa,
the
Wings
first
of
blood's the
Death
obvious
actually getting
one.
really low. Forced to pull West Race. Maybe can get the Shuriken, something, anything. No.
So first blood, that's always going to be the obvious. Actually, West Rice flashing in for the ultimate. He
No.
doesn't pop it. Oh, no, it's already down.
Minions
Oh,
OP.
wow.
Oh, no,
He's
almost.
going to die when he comes in there. Oh, he just can't get the proc.
Oh, missing the Shuriken. This is a duel. This is a duel for the ages. Through the bush. No, Wings of Death will come out the victor. I'm kind of wondering about the mentality of West Rice there. It's like, no, I can totally do this.
I think he thought he could, clear the tower a little bit faster than he did. So just taking a little bit too much damage. But I don't know. Nijaki doing a nice job in the mid lane. And so an even exchange, but Nijaki was able to deny Salse a lot of golden experience because he had a massive wave pushing at the time that they ganked him. So he just missed out on all of that CS as a result.
So you got two members of Evo in the mid, trying to force down Nijaki to tower. And, Nijaki's got the catalyst, going to be going for that Rod of Ages. And you know what? I think Ryze may actually be going for a catalyst himself. Because he did have some tweaks. Building a little bit of AP on Ryze isn't a complete real waste anymore. So you're looking to get a little bit extra health, a little bit extra mana, be a little more tanky. That's never a bad thing.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious if people might transition back to the older build because Rod of Ages is just an all-around awesome scaling item on Ryze. I think that's the thing is it's just so much bang for your buck that everyone is like, oh, you have to get Rod of Ages now. But it pushes back some of those early tanking items, which is kind of what made Ryze, the fact that you could buy early tanking items and still do a lot of damage. So we'll see. I mean, he's still going to be very tanky as the game progresses, and he will have some really nice damage output.
Wings of Death getting some good damage down to West Race as well. Kennen just dinging 7. So Wings of Death has a little bit of a slight XP lead in that regard, but still being aggressive, looking to push the tower, drinking those potions as quickly as he can. Ezreal here. Got the Phage, got the Vamp Scepter, kind of all. That's rough too. An early a Phage that early can be disastrous. But hey, wards, pink ward going down in front of Dragon. Now looking to counter ward a little bit, looking to Evo's looking to make their vision a little bit more expansive and try and also reduce the vision of Curse here. Make it a little bit easier for Mumu to go ahead and get those ganks if he so desires. He is...
Oh, but Malkite coming in on Vladimir, just getting the nice positioning. And
Waiting.
because Wings has been so aggressive in that top lane, yeah, they do have the ward coverage. Because he's been so aggressive, they're trying to take it. But in the meantime,
they saw him.
Yeah, there you have it. TSM Evo going to be able to pick up this dragon.
They saw Malkite top lane. It's like, hey, you know what? This is a good opportunity to grab dragon. I thought Elements was going to get a bandage toss there for a second. But yeah, nice quick dragon pickup for Evo. So, but yeah, that was the cue. Saint Vicious spotted top lane by some very well placed wards. Hey, you could go ahead and fight that. It was quick, easy dragon pickup. Should be back up at about a little bit past the 15-minute mark. So may see them pressure it again around that time.
And I just think it's wild how badly Wings of Death is kind of abusing Westrice right now. And he does have the regen advantage, so if Westrice can't get in the harass damage that he wants to, or the kills, then it might be a struggle. But actually, Saint Vicious coming up just barely can't get into range, and so Wings just kind of taunting him for a second, gonna get out some nice damage and then back off.
That ward is paying so much right now. Wings of Death really glad that's there because just saved his butt so many times from Maokai looking to get those ganks. Nightjackie now is taking a little bit of a turn to try and press the advantage here. So I'll say a little bit lower on health. They have both champs in mid. They have the blue buff. They have that mana regen. They're not going to be really going anywhere anytime soon unless one of them happens to die. And after move, let's get a farm update here. 96 to 66, doing really well, but he may actually get chunked out here. Does have to shift away. Does he still have the flash? Yes, he does. He uses it, and now trying to get away. Yeah, where are those heals? Could use those heals, but it looks like Curse is just going to go ahead and back off for now.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the Corki versus Ezreal matchup is not only does Corki have a lot of bursts, so you aren't so reliant. Actually, Kennen coming up and Amumu, so there's a little bit of positioning mid. Unstoppable does have the Oracle, so he's okay, but Nightjackie actually forcing the fight, so Westrice coming in as well, and actually they have a Mumu zone, but here is the Maokai and the Corki. Very quickly they're able to burst down Aphromoo. Elements going down as well, but Nat Nguyen should follow, and so a 2-for-1 exchange, yes, gets the double kill.
Cop. That's definitely what Cop wanted and needed, but Unstoppable is not too far behind. If Curse sticks around in bot lane, it could be a little bit of trouble. His ult is still up. You can go ahead and do something about it, but wards in the bush. Cop sees him.
Yeah, so one of the nice things about Corki against Ezreal, not only does he have the upfront damage, actually Wings of Death might dive this. His pull is down, so he's going to hold back for a second.
Yep.
Because Corki has the upfront damage, and then also the range on the Valkyrie is something to consider, because Graves has really short range, and then his quick dash is also very short range, so when Ezreal tries to get out of there, Graves can't follow in pursuit, and when Ezreal is being the aggressor, Graves can't get away as easily as you would like. Corki, on the other hand, he's got such a long range on his Valkyrie, he can easily chase down Ezreal, even with the Arcane Flash shift.
Unstoppable, just wander down one more bush. There's a ward that still needs clear. And, I mean, I know we have the advantage of having the God vision, but sometimes this is like, oh, I wish you went down there. There's still a ward there. But yeah, right now, the gold is actually starting to even out just a little bit with that kill, with Cop actually getting what he really needed. And now with those two kills, both champs in bot. Very similar placement near it items. Just that Ezreal has a Vamp Scepter over Corki right now, so it should not be the case for very long unless both champs decide to still try and get aggressive, try and fish out for more kills. Amumu in the mid. Ult is still up. Ult is waiting to be used. He's waiting for that one moment. Pink ward can be also cleared out as well.
Yeah. Does Saint Vicious, does he have the oracles at this point?
He does not.
Nope. But Corki, in the meantime, getting some nice damage. A lot of times you'll see early oracles on Maokai as well to try and get that map control. And right now, the issue is that Evo has such great ward coverage, they can't do a lot. So Swain going to be able to pick up that blue. In the meantime, Salse, using his ultimate, wants to just burst down that wave as fast as possible.
Saint Vicious actually took the
wow.
blue. Not sure
No,
if accidental.
That must have been unintentional. And Wings of Death just crushing Westrice. He might actually die for this, coming up to this tower, because he's at half health. He has his ultimate. He could just throw off his ultimate, try and get some burst damage, and then pull around.
Force him away. He wants to put the fear into him. Wants to force him to do something he may not want to do. But you got St. Vicious and Night Jackie also looking to wander on up. But Amumu's not too far behind. Unstoppable may be here to help save. There's Westrace trying to get in. There's the flash. There's the ult, keeping Wings of Death still, waiting for the rest of the team. But here's Unstoppable trying maybe help. He's waiting for the right positioning. St. Vicious looking for the twisted advance. And actually Unstoppable is just getting away from this horrible, horrible mess.
Wow, just barely not able to pick it up. I thought he was going to be able to turn that around, so
yeah. Look,
just
that's unfortunate too.
Yeah, and Unstoppable probably could have tried to
Oh.
bandage toss in. Oh, no.
No, that's not going to, unfortunately, really do anything.
It's kind of nowhere near, but
Yeah.
it would have been cool.
It's,
I mean,
it's a good guess.
If he tried to teleport.
It's a good guess. You know,
It
all
was
things
on the
considered.
map.
Yeah.
Like, if it's on the map, that counts as a guess.
Yeah. Well, it's you know, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, he's just farming anyway.
it's on short enough of a cooldown anyway.
Right,
It's
with
like
the
the
missile
Astro.
shot.
You might as well just throw it out there, you know. But still, though, with that kill, though, gold is now bang on even. So both of these teams now pretty much returning to neutral. So it's a matter of, you know, where do you go from here? You know, mid and bot are actually doing pretty well for Curse. Top lane, you know, now not looking as hot as it used to be, but, you know, still the farm is also looking pretty good for a few of these champs for the time being, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll have to see how things kind of pursue into the mid game because I don't know. Both teams have really strong late game, mid to late game teams, and there's just a lot of AOE damage. Unstoppable, the Mumu ult could be the game changer. That's going to be an issue. But Curse coming in, they are able to pick up this dragon. So really nice job there. I'm kind of curious how they're going to deal with Wings of Death though, because he's farming very successfully so far, and he's just going to be a monster later in the game, and he's actually going for an Abyssal Scepter. So he recognizes, all right, there's a Mumu, there's Rise. If I go the Abyssal Scepter, not only am I going to be tankier, but they are going to be dealing so much damage.
So there you go, pressure in mid continuing for Evo. Salse, Wings looking to do a little bit of a migration here. Unstoppable also with the Oracles. Oh, yeah. So it's sometimes it gets to me. It's just like, no, there's the ward right there. Here's the ward right there. You can go ahead and clear it. Bot lane though, Aftermoon, yeah, there's only Curse Cop here. He's the only one defending at the moment. Elements needs to hurry on up if you want to go ahead and make sure to minimize damage going down to the tower. But it looks like the wave will be cleared pretty quickly. So, you know, Cop with those missiles, it's not going to be too much of an issue.
Yeah, Corki can farm from a range pretty easily. He's one of the safest ADs in the game.
St. Vicious going to go ahead and grab that red for himself for the future ganks. Unstoppable though, nice ward coverage going down as well, like right there in that bush. Also still a ward there in the Tri-Brush and top lane as well. Wings of Death still continue to push. May actually be able to just take out this tower with the minions, and there it goes. Tier 1 top lane going down. So Wings can go ahead and take that to the bank with them. So they should also negate the dragon that Curse took out earlier. So still, once again, gold pretty even. But now you also have this huge minion wave actually pushing into Tier 2. And Westrace, if he plays his cards right, if he manages to actually just, you know, keep the wave from actually hitting the tower, you know, or at least, you know, the most of the wave that's still yet to come,
Yep.
you could actually go ahead and do a good job, freeze the lane just a little bit, force Wings to actually just try and find greener pastures elsewhere.
It's kind of interesting. Rise, he actually has a double catalyst build. So
Whoa,
instead of
hey.
finishing off the rod, going for the 2 catalysts, he'll be able to finish off one in a second. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't finish one off immediately because it is a unique passive. So it's not like he's getting a bonus there, but Salse getting some nice damage on Night Jackie. Night Jackie can just back off. And now Wings of Death and Unstoppable are here. They could probably pressure this tower, and top, it's already gone. So
Yeah.
We'll see if they can take that down.
So now if he builds one of them into a rod, then will both of them trigger?
I don't think so. But, I mean, his thought is he just wants a lot of mana, he wants a lot of HP, and he's planning on building both Rod and Banshees. So, you know, it's really just a build order, and it gives him a lot of HP and mana.
Yeah.
It was just a curious thought that,
Yeah.
you know, he's not taking advantage of the passive.
So well, he's gonna have. Let's take a look at let's get a gold update too. He's almost up to getting that last round, but Wings of Death actually having to pull to make sure he does not get rooted by Night Jackie, because Westrace is also here in mid. There's actually also a pretty hefty wave starting to accumulate in top lane as well, so someone might want to go ahead and take care of that before that thing starts to impact the house. Nyanwin having to go ahead and flash away in order to get away from the harass coming in from Cop, and a potential root from St. Vicious.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird miscommunication on their part because Maokai actually used his flash, but because Corki went in first, if Maokai had gone in first, he would have had the instant flash and the instant twisted advance. So they would have had Nat Nguyen rooted. Instead, Corki went in first, and it tipped Nat's hat a little bit. Element's actually getting some nice damage. Unfortunately, Unstoppable is in pursuit as well. There's the exhaust, and very quickly, Afram was able to pick up that kill. Kennen waiting in the back row, trying to see if he can get in, but recognizing there's not going to be a really strong fight potential.
Yep, so yeah, Unstoppable didn't even really need to be there for that last fight.
They are coming down, though.
Oh, this could be bad. This could be real bad. Curse, they're all looking to migrate down. There's Unstoppable. He sees the ward into Tri-Brush, but may actually be caught out here. Does actually make it to tower, but can't stay the same for Nyat and Evermood. There's the Kennen ult. There's the Amumu ult as well. We got a nice little cluster here. Unstoppable may be caught out, though. Soraka does go down, and Amumu does go down as well. Evermood, you're trapped. A 3-man gank. Cop, will the turret take you? No, Night Jackie is taking it, but West Race does go down, but hey, 3 for 1. It's pretty good math. But top lane, Wings to Death, all wise Lonesome going to go ahead and put some extra damage on the top tier 2.
It was a nice job by Curse. Unstoppable tried to get the ultimate to prevent them from getting in range, but couldn't quite get it off in time. And so then Aframu, it actually looked like he could pick up the kill onto Kennen a little bit faster and then maybe transition to Cop. But, you know, kiting back, he was able to get the one. But we'll see. I mean, they are farming very well. So once they kind of all group up as a team, once they have all of their AoE, they're also a very tanky team. And that's going to be difficult for Curse to deal with because Curse, they have nice burst damage, but not a whole lot of sustain other than Corki. Nijaki has some sustain as well, but mostly it's Corki is their sustain damage. And Vladimir is very tanky as the game progresses. Ryze is very tanky and is going to be building into you know, that Frozen Heart eventually, I would assume. I'm a little bit surprised he's not getting it a little bit sooner, but it's a mostly AP team. And so the benefit of getting all of that HP as opposed to armor is HP counters out magic damage and burst kind of damage, which is what Curse has. And I don't know, so that'll be interesting to see how that works. But with the Soraka, if they can, you know, keep themselves alive through Curse's burst, then very quickly they're going to come out ahead on those fights.
And there you go. There is the Abyssal being finished onto Wings of Death. So going to be pumping out a little bit more magic damage. But, you know, look at Curse building a little defensive. You know, Negatron Cloak there. Another Negatron Cloak there. So Night Jackie and West Rays looking to try and mitigate a little bit. Plus, you know, you also have the Aegis. A little bit extra something for everybody. So it'll do a little bit. It's not going to do as much as Wings of Death would want it to, but it's damage. It's extra damage.
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely help their team a lot. I mean, the Abyssal Scepter with the Magic team is a fantastic item choice. It's just a really strong item choice for them right now, particularly since it gives them magic resist against that heavy magic team. So Curse coming in,
magic everywhere.
Right, so Curse coming in, forcing this dragon, and actually Unstoppable should be able to get in here. We'll see if he kind of forces it, because Wings of Death has plenty of AP as well, and there it is, the ultimate, followed up by the Vladimir ultimate, and then the Ezreal as well. They're all very low, but Westrice did get off his ultimate, so Unstoppable does go down, but now it's an all-out brawl, and Aframu is okay, but so is Cop, and Cop has the advantage, chasing down Nat Nguyen. Maokai does go down as well, and now Aframu actually with the red buff turning around onto them, picks up the kill onto Elements, and then Vladimir is going to be coming in from behind. So if they kite for a second, no, there it is, the Arcane Shift into Corki, picking up the quick kill. So awesome play all around from TSM Evo to take down Curse there, and now they will have this dragon.
That Amumu ult, man, that Amumu ult just did it so much for Evo, just keeping everyone. Yeah. It's just a fantastic positioning on it. That's really all you can say about that. And also, got to mention this too, that pink ward does not see the ward inside the pit. Very tricky placement, and that was, you know, that was a vision anywhere, especially in a tight spot like that. If you want to get the engage you want, vision can be everything.
Yeah, and so Wings going to be able to take down this mid turret, so huge turret advantage. Ezreal probably is going to be able to take down the bottom as well if he decides to go for it. Nope, he's just going to recall. But even so, just huge gold advantage for TSM Evo, and they're so strong about pursuing it. And I don't know, we'll have to see. The Amumu giving them that AoE as opposed to Maokai, he gives them a little bit more single target burst, and he makes their team a little bit tankier. But TSM Evo, they already have a tankier team naturally, and then the AoE damage from Amumu is just far superior to Maokai's damage. So, you know, that's going to be kind of interesting. Curse, they really need to pick off individual targets and keep them all alive as long as possible. They don't really want to have these AoE brawl fights because
Evo is going to come out on top. So we'll see how they kind of I don't know, negotiate the fights as the game progresses.
Well, yeah, Maokai with the twisted advance, with the Q, it's enough. It's enough single target disruption for if you have a team with the right amount of damage to go ahead and follow up with that kill. But that's the thing with the Mumu. You still have the AoE damage with him and the disable innately. So, granted, Maokai on his own with the passive can sustain quite a bit in fights, can remain in the fights for a while. But you got to have everyone else there with you in order to capitalize on it, unfortunately. So here you are, 24 minutes in. It's still even 10-10 in terms of kills, but the gold does tell a little bit of a different story. Top and mid tier 1s have been taken out by TSM Evo, and they're looking all right. They're looking pretty damn good right now. Aftermoo, he's getting very well farmed. He's got the Bloodthirster, and he's got the Trinity in comparison. Mumu pull could have gotten something off of that. His ult is up. It is back up now. Something could happen down here in bot lane. But,
yeah, really nice reaction from Elements there, recognizing he needed to get the hell out of there as fast as possible. So, is able to get the flash, even though Mumu did get the bandage tossed onto a minion. And in the meantime, Wings just really aggressively pushing down this top lane. And that's one of the nice things with Vladimir, along with a number of top lane champions, is he has that split push potential. Once you're farmed as Vladimir, you have the regen. You can 1v1 anyone in the game, basically, and just put a lot of pressure on one lane while the rest of your team can win the other lanes. But for the most part, he wants to play safe because he recognizes in a team fight with the Amumu, their AoE combo, he can easily wreck as long as he just takes things slow and, I don't know, doesn't get caught ever.
So now it's I think Curse is actually still, despite this, actually still doing a pretty good job keeping up the farm. They're still a little bit behind, but the longer they stay in these lanes, still trying to just clean up whatever creeps that there may be. The gold is actually very slightly starting to equalize here. Dragon, when it respawns, is going to be another major objective, and if Curse can manage actually to grab that, they could very well bring this once again back to neutral. But it's a matter of what champs are really going to be the huge playmakers here, though.
Both junglers setting up in this bottom lane. So Maokai actually might be pulling himself into a bad situation because Amumu is here and Rise is making his way down. They do have a ward and they pinged it actually. So Rise is going to take a step back and come into the fight a little bit late or maybe even walk around that bottom lane so that he can get himself into position. Still trying to wait for that Maokai, but I think they're playing kind of safe. They recognize he's there, so Saint knows that they know. And actually, he's walking right into it. I did not expect that, but Aftermoo with the bait.
Not good. Gotta keep everyone from Curse still there. There's the Ezreal ult. He has to farm. He has to do all this from a distance. He is pretty low, but now comes Salsay looking to help save the day. There is the flash and the stun. Everything down there. Onto Cobb. Gonna go ahead and clean up Tarek next. Now Jackie tries to join the fray, but Salsay Decrepify will keep him there slow just for a moment. And Saint Vicious now going to be the next victim of the Prism. Is it going to be enough damage? Just barely not. But it looks like Evo's going to be still very hurt, but victorious. 2 for free. They're definitely going to have to back after this one, though. Oh, and look at also top lane. West Rice there is the victim of the Vlad ult. Going to go ahead, pop the Hourglass just in time to go ahead and negate the finishing blow of the ult from Vlad, but now Wings, he's in a little bit of a disadvantage here. The Shuriken not going to reach it.
Yeah, so Wings missed out on some of that damage, but really nice job from TSM Evo in that bottom lane. And now Aftermoo, can continue to just press that farm lead. And Corky's doing a really nice job as well, but I don't know, we'll have to see. Right now, this is at Ezreal's advantage because he already has the finished Bloodthirster, has had it for a while, but Corky is very close to finishing the Infinity Edge, so his sustained damage is actually going to be a little bit, or significantly stronger than Ezreal's, just because Ezreal isn't quite as much of an auto attacker. So I mean, that's definitely going to be key. Once Corky can finish that, they're all getting into their really late game builds. Swain is going to be incredibly tanky. They're going to have Ezreal for the backup. So it's going to be a serious issue for them if they can't disrupt Ezreal's general attack. And the last fight, even though TSM Evo won, Corky was generally pretty safe in that back line to just wear away at people.
Not to mention Aftermoo going to be picked up the last Whisper as well. There's a pretty good chunk of armor actually on the end of Curse. You got Kennen, has the Hourglass, and you also have the Aegis giving a little bit of something to everybody. So that could actually pay off immensely well, starting to hit these team fights in mid going into the late game. Not to mention also you have the training force. That's just extra AD that's stacking on to that extra damage proc from the Sheen aspect of the Trinity.
Yeah, and here we see both teams setting up for this Dragon, so it's going to be an all-out brawl. It is a very even game at this point, but I don't know. It's the Vladimir and the Rise, their late-game damage potential is just so devastating, and the fact that they have such great sustained damage, it might be a big struggle. And actually,
Evo.
Curse, Unstoppable, might just be walking right into this. He seems to be kind of pressuring the team a little bit.
Oh, if he
maybe
gets a
going to try
bandage.
the bandage toss.
Oh, that could have been amazing. Bandage toss from
Yep.
the inside of the lip of the pit. Still looking for it, though, and nice ward placement, but it will be taken out immediately. There is the Oracles actually on both junglers now, looking, just dancing back and forth, waiting for the engage. There's a Shirelius pop Unstoppable. What will you get? You got 2 members of Curse right there. Can you actually chunk out one of them fast enough? He's going down pretty quick with their Salsei, taking a bunch of damage as well. The Zonia is being popped from Salsei, but Elements will be the first one to go down. Kennen, Maokai, Soraka all go down, and Evo's actually going to go ahead and get away from this one. Triple kill for Aframu. He's going to go ahead and get that nice little bit more buff as he's leveling up for a nice little reward.
If you actually go back and look at that fight again,
I
Cop
will.
the entire fight, he was actually, I don't know, kind of uncomfortable. He was sitting in the back line, but couldn't get that damage up front on the rest of the team. So he got a little bit, but he was kind of skirting back and forth a little bit. And so Salsei, everyone right up front, none of them going down, and Cop forced to retreat. So really nice fight from TSM Evo overall. They just kind of rushed on top of Curse, and everyone recognized that they were pretty safe. They had great disengage. Aftermove might actually go for this with the red buff, but Torky should be able to get out of there.
Yep, just going to go ahead and try and just come back to normal here. Just jump on up. There you go. So just going to go ahead and speed on up, since we did take a look at that replay, just right back to normal as soon as we can. And pings, a lot of pings going down just all over the corpse area from where Curse, their memories of their last fight. So now this is where the game turns. That one fight and the Dragon and everything, all those kills put Evo at a pretty huge advantage. That fight was worth about 6K in gold total. Yep. Everything.
Oh, but Tarek with the stun. Cop very quickly picking up this kill on the net.
Wow.
Not a whole lot that he can do about that, except for not walking into the bush. But
yeah.
I don't know. Really nice pickup from Curse there. I think he was kind of surprised. Like
I think yeah.
At this point in the game, 32 minutes in, to be waiting in the bottom bush is kind of a weird tactic, but it worked out for them. And in the meantime, Swain and Kennen are going to be fighting against Vladimir and Amumu. There's the Amumu ultimate, and Westrice, he does have his ultimate up, so he's going to pop it, and there's actually Wings of Death throwing off the Zonias, and then the Kennen Zonias as well, so the double Zonias. Vladimir does have his pull, though. The flash out from Westrice. Can he pick up the kill? Just barely going down.
The tides.
And Nightjackie should be pretty strong at this point, though. Wings of Death just barely, very close to going down. He picks up the kill, and now with the backup, actually they're able to pick up the kill onto Maokai, and now Nightjackie has to get out of there. And wow, Curse still pushing it in.
Here, Curse Cop trying to see what he can capitalize on here, but no, Rise has already fled. Salsei is going to go ahead right back and meet up high five with his good buddy Aframu here. But going to go ahead and wander back in, maybe possibly try and go ahead and camp out this this bush here and steal the red for the bonus. There's the Elements actually coming around. There it is. There's the right into the bush, right into the ward. Yeah, it happens on both ends.
Yep.
It happens on both sides. Supports walking into areas they may not want to be, but that may very well cost them a Baron and not just a quick kill instead here. So after move Salsei and Yat, they're here trying to take it out as quickly as possible. Wings of Death is actually still down, and Unstoppable is making his way back up. His ultimate is not up yet, but they managed to have the damage to take it out quick enough.
Yeah, Ezreal has so much AD.
Oh,
if you look
that sucks.
If you look at Ezreal, he probably has about 300 AD right now, and so he's able to drop it 377 with the Baron. So he's able to drop it very, very quickly.
Yeah,
is the way to put it. But
I'm sure Wings right now is like, man, it was like a second. Just could have had to wait a second, but it's fine. It's fine. There's the pretty good lead they've carved out for themselves. 7K. Really nice at this point in the game. Plus you have the Baron buff. You can go ahead and pressure any objective you like. Might just go straight up in through the mid. And they should also still have it when Dragon comes back up as well. So we'll see what they do there. Just now the matter is, you're in the lead, extend your lead. You're ahead, get more ahead.
Yeah, so we'll see if they are able to push under these towers.
Curse, they have okay wave clearing capabilities with Nijaki, and Corki is very strong as well at clearing waves, so that could stall it out a little bit. And I don't know, it would be kind of tough for them to force a fight under tower unless Unstoppable just decides he wants to tank it. He does have some armor, but he would drop very quickly. And because it's a battle between two sustained teams, the fights are going to last longer. You really don't want to be fighting under the turrets. So as a result, Curse should be able to stall this for quite some time here. We'll see if they kind of force it, though. And Aframu, with the attack range, he probably doesn't have enough to force this tower.
But then again, though, just with that one creep wave almost bringing it down to half, that's how much damage Afro has right now. 420 shoot laser bolts every day. That's what Aframu's doing right now. Waiting for the wave, and you can go ahead. This next wave, that tower should be gone. No problem.
Yeah, so there's the thing. He only has enough time to get in 2 or 3 shots, but with that much AD, those 2 or 3 shots are working out for him. He gives his team some attack speed so that they can just do it. And wow, just dropping it almost immediately. I don't know. We'll see if there's a hard engage here. The issue is that Ezreal is just so safe in fights. They don't have a way of stopping his damage, and it is a hefty amount at this point.
Ward attempted to be placed here, but there's still the oracles on Unstoppable. Curse is not going to be getting any vision while they're here. And Aframu just, hey, quick shot on tower. I'm going to shift out of here. Everything's going to be fine. Decrepify not going to be doing a whole lot. And, and that's it. Just every creep wave. Every creep wave, this is going to go ahead and continue to happen. Waves are just going to go ahead and melt free damage on tower. And that's just from the Rise Poke. That's just from Rise Poke, all that damage on Curse. And there's the Amumu ult, going to go ahead and secure that Maokai kill. West Rise is trying to stay alive, but after that, Zonius is gone. Out of here. Get out of here. Nijaki now in a full retreat. Let's also go ahead and take care of that. And this is a pretty bad situation for Curse. This may actually be it.
Honestly, a kind of an awkward fight for Curse, and they kind of got themselves out of position. They recognized that TSM Evo was pushing so aggressively, and I don't know, it was kind of a half-hearted effort. Like, Maokai kind of went in, he was like, it was like they had no choice, and they're like, I guess we can go in on Vladimir here.
Yeah, we're already hurt, we're already committed.
West Rice went in as well, but the rest of the team wasn't committed, and so West Rice blew his entire ultimate without anyone getting any follow-up damage. So very easily, TSM Evo will be able to take this Nexus. Awesome play all around, particularly from that Ezreal. Just Aframu crushing that Pulsefire Ezreal. There you go.
Making the Pulsefire look super sexy tonight, but that is it. Your winners here, TSM Evo, have qualified for IPL5 and won themselves a cool $1,000. Congratulations. We will be seeing you guys there. Wonderful, wonderful showing, and can't think of a better way to kick off the launch of Pulsefire Ezreal than to have an amazing set like that.
Yeah, definitely. TSM Evo, they look very strong right now, and I'm really excited to see how they continue to grow as a team because they have really high expectations before them. There are a number of top players. It's just how that synergy can continue to grow. So a lot of expectations. It'll be fun to watch. Curse as well. It'll be cool to see them grow. So look forward to seeing them in our future qualifiers, and then hopefully at IPL5, they're if they can't get the qualifiers, there's 2 more qualifiers
and the Open. Yeah,
so we'll see, but TSM Evo is in there. So TSM and TSM Evo, they're 2 of our first 3 spots.
So let's go ahead and if you didn't watch this morning, this is the point where you mute the stream for like a minute just so you don't get spoiled. So let's go ahead and count out who everyone who's qualified. So you have TSM, our returning champs, Dynamic from Qualifier 1, TSM Evo now from Qualifier 2. Then you go over to the EU side, got CLG EU. And Moscow 5.
Yeah, so those are some nasty teams. IPL5 already is shaping up to be one hell of a tournament. But,
yes.
In the meantime, guys, we are going to be starting our qualifiers for the San Francisco Showdown this upcoming week. And August 11th through 12th, it is going to be an 8-man tournament, 8-team tournament. Asia versus NA. It is just going to be awesome. It's going to be astounding. So check out on our site. You can buy tickets there, ign.com/IPL. We're really excited to have the teams there. It's going to be fantastic. It is a Riot Circuit event, $40,000. If you're in the San Francisco area, come check it out. We are incredibly excited for it. And there you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. IPL5 NA qualifiers finals are done. We will have up a rebroadcast, but thanks, guys. It was a pleasure.
It was a great time, and as always, remember all the details you need in order to check up with everything we're doing here at the IGN Pro League. Remember, follow us on Twitter and on Facebook at IGN Pro League, IPLLL on Twitch and YouTube. As always, send us your tops, send us your flops. We want your replays, IPLLL replays at gmail.com. We're done. We're out of here. Thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on stream. And be sure, join us next week. The face-off qualifiers shall begin. We shall see you next time. Good night.